Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we have another unboxing that I want to share with you. This one is my about the studio. So I know the last unboxing I did a few days ago was my one of my birthday presents, which I bought sneakers, but this one's actually for the office, and as you've probably seen from the past, few episodes that I've had for the podcast, the camera, my DSLR, I can't use it on my Mac Mini. So this is my Mac Mini. It's the M2 chip, and I've had it for a few years now. But let me let you guys see the specs. The problem that I was having is it's freezing when I'm recording. My camera feed freezes because it can't handle how much energy or how much RAM usage I'm pulling from it. So let me get to the right screen here. All right. So this is the general. On the Mac Mini, you go to About, and I don't know if I can make this larger. I don't think I can. But yeah, this is the M2. It's got 8 gigabytes of memory. I think this wasn't really expensive because it's like the base 256 gigabytes of storage. So the storage wasn't great at 256 gigs. And the memory at 8 gigabytes of RAM is not good at all. But it lasted so long because the M2 chip was just that powerful. Obviously, it got to the point where I just can't multitask on it the way that I need to. And as Apple continues to upgrade or update their software, it's just taking it. It's just taking a lot more RAM than I have to run everything. So yes, I upgraded, and I have another angle here. So this is my upgrade. I decided, well, partially I was gonna upgrade the Mac Mini, right? Because I like this is a 32-inch monitor, and then this one is my 27-inch, which I use for a lot of color calibration. But this monitor, even though it's an OLED and it's awesome, the color, this is not made for color calibration. This monitor that is made for color calibration is not as good in terms of resolution as this monitor, because this is an OLED monitor, which is the best of the best. This one is a 4K Ultra HD, which is good, but not as good of a resolution as this one. So I really need this monitor, like a better version of this monitor in terms of resolution. So I also didn't want to sit at my desk all the time. So if I would have bought another Mac Mini, I would have been glued to my desk for I don't know how many more years after. So I really wanted mobility. I did need to upgrade the RAM. I did want to upgrade the resolution for the monitor. So this, I picked up the laptop today. This is a MacBook Pro. It is the M5 chip, which was kind of hard to find if you're looking for a Mac Mini. If you just want to upgrade your Mac Mini, like if you have an M2 like I do, and you just want to upgrade to an M5, which is the latest chip Apple came out with, the M5 is not available yet for the Mac Mini. If you want an M4 Mac Mini or upgrade to the M4 is out of stock as far as I can like the places that I've looked up, it's out of stock. I went to Best Buy, it's also out of stock there. I think there is a chip shortage, or they're having a resource shortage in terms of all the components, creating all the components that they need to make the Mac Mini. So if you go to Best Buy or stores like that, don't be surprised if it's not in stock. It's been out of stock for weeks now, I think. So the benefit is this is only going to cost you probably 1/3 of what this will cost you. So yeah, I was reluctant to buy this because I don't even want to tell you how much it cost. The thing is that this is the 16-inch. There's a 14-inch available that probably starts around 1600. But I don't like the 14-inch monitor. I wanted the monitor that was, a little bit bigger. I'm coming from using a PC laptop. The laptop that I do have is like a PC 15.6-inch screen. So I didn't want to go down to a 14-inch monitor. I just, no. Now, in terms of the specs, like I said, this is the M5 Pro chip. It's got 48 gigabytes of memory. And then I also addressed the storage. It's got a terabyte of storage. Now, obviously, I'm still going to keep most of my work on my external. This little external is 4 terabytes, which is 4 times what my laptop has on it. So yeah, it wasn't really a storage issue whether you go with the laptop or you go with the Mac Mini. The issue was, like I said, mobility, the screen, as far as upgrading on the screen, and the RAM for sure. Now the M2 as a processor, it was fine, but again, it feels dated, and I definitely wanted to upgrade. So which camera would be better for me to do this? I'll go with this one here. It's got these, so that's the whole backstory. It's got these arrows on it, and so you just unbox it that way. And probably shift all this stuff down. Okay. So just pull on that. I'm really, really excited, but I can't lie. This is my last major purchase for the rest of the year for the studio, because this if you get it with 48 gigs of memory and a terabyte of storage, the price practically almost doubles on it, or pretty close to it. So like I said, it's a 16-inch version, so it's not, it's expensive. But I wanted to make sure that I wouldn't have to purchase another laptop for years. Let's see what this camera does. Yeah, so this camera is like, you can't really see it, but this is the top here. I'll switch back to the phone. So, it's got a flap. So I just pull this up. Okay. No, this is my first Apple laptop, because they are very expensive. And with the specs that I wanted, it was going to take me a while to actually be able to get this. Okay, so there's the bottom of it. I don't know how well you guys can see, but I did get the space black instead of the gray. So it's very simple. It's a very simple design. Very simple design. Let's see. I don't know if I can open this now. Here we go. Okay, and it's already lighting up. So you take off that. And let's see if I can get this on camera. There it is. No, obviously the keyboard is backlit. And like I said, this is the 16-inch version, so I like the screen size. And the other thing I didn't want to do, like I said before, is that it's very thin. Look how thin this is. That is crazy. How thin this is. This is also thin. Speakers. It's got the ports. Now you can also get the MacBook Air, but on the Air you will not get the HDMI port on it.
Press the return key.
So the MacBook Air is also good, but it doesn't have the ports, all the ports I want on it. There we go. So I can see that part of it. Yeah. So the MacBook Air is cheaper, but you're going to be missing some features on it. So they kind of, if you want certain things, they kind of make you really pay quite a bit for it. But yeah, this is my new workstation, sort of. I mean, obviously I'm going to connect it with these two monitors here. And like I said, I do like the space black instead of the silver. And it's very nice. So you can also order this from Apple for about the same price. But it's usually when you have specs that are above the base model of these, you will have to wait for them to actually make it and order it, or like make the product and ship it to you. So it can take 3-4 weeks sometimes, depending on how they are with the parts for this. So if you go to an Apple store, they'll likely have like the base model of whether it's the mini or the laptop. But anything other than that, especially if you're getting something that's got 48 gigs of RAM, that's gonna be extra. And I'm not sure how much RAM the base model has. Maybe 16, I think, 16 gigs in the base model. I'm not quite sure. But that's where we are right now. Oh, and then the last thing that's in the box. Let's see. There's your power cable, and then obviously you have paperwork that always comes with it. And what else is there? Let me switch to the other camera. So here's paperwork. Here is your charger, or your adapter thing, power adapter. This is 140 watts on this one. This is massive. So that's your power. That's massive. And then I like it too because it has the Apple symbol on here. You can't see it really well on here, but let me see if I can remove. Oh, here we go. And I'm probably taking this off wrong. There we go. So that's the block. If it can focus correctly. And so you just flip it up. And there you go. That is huge. Because when you get a laptop this size and it's got this much power on it, it's going to chew up a lot of energy. So the only thing with Apple that I realized with the iPad Pro that I bought like years ago, these cords can sometimes be really short. So depending on where your power outlet is, you might have to buy a longer cord because sometimes these can be really, really short. And I'm not sure about this one. And of course, people have complained about that probably for years, but this seems, especially if you're coming from the PC side, you're used to ridiculously bulky, long cords. But yeah, this is not bad. Yeah, stretch it out. So maybe 5 feet of cord, somewhere in there. This is as long as I've seen them for sure. This about 5 feet of cord. And then it's got that's how it connects with this. And it snaps on. Very nice. And then on this side, you got the USB-C connection. So that's good. All right. So now it is official. I am completely in the Apple sphere. I changed my phone. I changed my tablet. I had a desktop before, and then I changed to the Mac Mini. And my laptop, which is a Lenovo, I can finally really not have to use that anymore for anything. Which I didn't use it too much because the screen on the Lenovo that I have is not very good. It just drives me crazy when I have to look at a bad screen. The other thing that you have to be careful of too when you're ordering is make sure if you're picky about your screen resolution like I am, like how well your screen looks, the OLED screen is the way to go. Like this is a Samsung OLED. But in the Apple verse, you have to go with the XDR. Okay, so maybe I can show you guys that before I go. I don't want to keep you guys too long on this one, but let me see where we're going here. Hold on. I need to change this. All right, there we go. I found it. Okay, so this is I think it's WW, right? DC, WWDC 26. This is where they announce their new lineup. That's usually arrives in the summer or the fall of that particular year. So that event is going to be June 8th to the 12th. I'm expecting them to announce the M5 for the Mac Mini, but I'm not going to need it at this point. And whatever else that, in terms of products that they're coming out with. So now, if you, like I said, screen resolution, be extremely careful. And I probably mentioned this before when I was talking about the iPad Pro. When you go to, like, if you want to get the laptop, so you go MacBook Pro, you click on buy. I don't think this is going to show me the specs. Okay. So the MacBook Pro is going to start, like the base model, it's going to start at, it says $1,699, but it's $1,700. That's the 14-inch. The base model of the 16-inch is going to start at $2,700 or $2,699. So I really wanted to, where is the, gosh, they updated this page again. The specs for this, the screen. Okay. These are the chips. What you're looking for with the screen resolution is you have to make sure that you're picking the one with XDR. It'll say Liquid Retina XDR. If it doesn't have XDR, if it says just Liquid Retina by itself, there's no XDR there, then that is not the screen you want. And I know it's got to be in here somewhere, and I might have passed it with all these animations. Yeah. But that's what I'm looking for. And just if you're picky about, okay, display. There it is. Brilliant Liquid Retina XDR display, right? Delivers 1600 nits peak HDR brightness. And you see this contrast ratio at 1,000,000 to 1. I have looked at the specs for monitors like all over the place. 1,000,000 to 1 contrast ratio is ridiculously insane. It's insanely good. That's like, it's unheard of. A lot of times I'll run across contrast ratios that are like 400,000 to 1, somewhere in that ballpark. 1,000,000 to 1 contrast ratio is crazy. So again, I got the 16-inch laptop because I'm going to be working on it a lot, so I don't have to sit on since I'm not sitting at my desk and looking at my 32-inch or my 27-inch monitor. I still want the monitor to be big enough so that I'm not straining my eyes like crazy. So that's definitely what I'm looking for. Okay. Oh, here's the specs up here. Let me see this. Okay, here's all the chips, memory, storage. Yes. So the 14-inch also has the Liquid Retina XDR display. So we're good to go. I know good and well the 16-inch has the Liquid Retina, right? But the 14-inch, I wasn't sure. So there it is, Liquid Retina XDR display. Now, contrast. Let me pull up the MacBook Air. Go to specs. The 13-inch. Let's go to display. Bingo. That's what I was looking for. Look at the display for the 13-inch MacBook Air. It says Liquid Retina. There is no XDR. That is a huge difference in resolution, right? So if you're getting a 13.6-inch MacBook Air, the screen is not going to be as good. So that's, if the price is cheaper, that means that they took certain features away to cut cost in terms of what they'll charge you, right? It's still a good screen in terms of resolution, but it's not the best one. So for me, when I'm in the showroom, whether it's Apple, Best Buy, wherever, I can look at the screen and tell. I can look at the screen and tell, okay, this is not the best one. So you're always looking for the XDR. Now, the other question I would have, if you go, let's see, the 15-inch MacBook Air, does that one have the XDR? No, it does not. So that's a deal breaker for me, or another deal breaker for me. But if you're not worried about the screen, right, nearly as much as me, then I would say in terms of cost, you're looking at $1,100 for the 13-inch MacBook Air. And then for the 15-inch, you're looking at $1,300. So, I mean, that's just, you're going to be missing ports. It's going to be a downgrade with the screen on the laptop. I would have bought the 15-inch because 15 inches is fine, but the screen resolution isn't good. So I didn't want to go too low with the 14-inch, right? Because this one, they gave me a 14-inch option and a 16-inch option. And I'm like, well, if they would have gave me a 15-inch monitor option, I would have took that and saved a bit more money. But there is no 15-inch option. The 15-inch option is over here, and the screen resolution is lower. The screen resolution is not as good. So you just have to figure out what you want or what you can do without if you want that price to come down. But if you're looking at a 16-inch MacBook Pro, it's going to start at $2,700, right? And then if you decide, okay, I don't mind the screen size at 14-inch, which it bugs me, but if you're fine with that, it's $1,700, okay? Compared to the 15-inch at $1,300, which is weird because this one is the 14-inch model and it's $1,700 for the MacBook Pro. But then you get a larger screen at 15 inches and it costs $1,300. But again, like I said, you'll be missing ports. There's a downgrade in the screen resolution, that sort of thing. So Apple is very smart in kind of putting creatives or professionals like myself in sort of a bind where if you want the screen at least 15 inches, right? Can't be smaller than 15 inches. You want the XDR screen and not just the liquid retina. You want the XDR level screen on there. And you want the ports, including the HDMI port on the laptop, which the MacBook Air doesn't have. You have to go to the MacBook Pro and spend the extra money on it. Like you don't have, your options here are kind of rough. So that's what ends up happening. And like I said, if you do upgrades of any kind, and I'm curious to see where the the RAM starts. Let's see. I don't see the RAM yet. I'm just curious. M5, where's the RAM? Okay. On the base model, 16 gigabytes of RAM. Now, a lot of creators will tell you 32 gigs of RAM is the lowest you want to go. Okay, the lowest you want to go. So if you go from 16 gigs to 32 gigs, you're going to add $400 to the price. So now you're looking at what, about $2,100 for it. Actually, that's 32. Hold on. Okay, so if you want to go to the base for creatives at 36, so you click on 36, you're going to get this notification telling you that the M5 chip cannot handle or is not available paired with 36 gigabytes of RAM. The highest you can get is 32 gigs of RAM, which is not quite where most creators want it to be. We want the base, like the lowest you go is 36 gigs of RAM. But in order to get the other 4 gigs of RAM that you're missing, you have to upgrade the entire chip to the M5 Max, which is 18 core, 32 core graphics processor, which is a lot more expensive. You have to upgrade the entire CPU chip just to get the 36 gigabytes of RAM. So if you upgrade your chip, look at what happens to the price. You go from $2,100 to $3,600 just because you wanted the chip increase. I know that's crazy, but I'm just saying that's the issues that we run into. And again, that's why it took me so long to to get one of their laptops, because the price is just, it's crazy. So it's one of those things where you really only want to do this one time. So I know it's as tempting as it is to save some money. You're going to run into issues. You're either going to be missing ports, your screen resolution isn't going to be as good, the RAM isn't going to be as good where you need it. You're going to end up spending the money anyway, right? You're going to have to, if you buy something cheaper, you're going to have to upgrade eventually anyway, sooner than you really want to. So you have to, you have to figure out, okay, what you want, how high can you get your budget, and look for sales. I found a sale. It wasn't a significant sale at Best Buy, but I found a sale on Best Buy, and I was like, you know what? This is the best that I'm going to get. I don't even know if this particular model has the nano texture screen, the nano texture display on it, which is this part. This is the standard display, comes included. But then there's a nano texture display, another $150, further reduces glare and reflections in bright lighting conditions. I don't know if this has that on there. I'm going to have to look at the specs on the box a little bit more and see if I can find it, because I don't know where this type of information would be. But it's a lot. And I guess the thing that, again, if you, same thing with the iPad, just iPad Pro, look at the monitor to see what, you know, see what you have. So you scroll down a little bit and the tech specs pops up here at the top, near the top. So you look at that, you got the 11-inch, right? The 11-inch version, the 13-inch version. Okay. Now I don't have this one. Mine, I think I have like a M1 or something like that. But look for the display. And this is crazy. This is better than the monitor that I just bought on my laptop. It's the Ultra Retina XDR display. It's OLED. So this is an OLED like this monitor here. Like this is my 32-inch on my left. That's OLED. My favorite, absolutely love it, but it's not color calibrated as well as this monitor because this monitor is made for photo editing. This monitor is made more so for gaming, but I wanted the OLED. I like the better resolution on it, but anytime I'm working on editing, it goes on this monitor. So that's why I got so tired of sitting at my desk. So now that I have the laptop, I can edit on here because this monitor is better than the 4K Ultra HD, but it's not better than my OLED. So I think what they're going to announce at the what is it? The WWDC. I think they're going to announce that they are going to put the OLED monitor on the laptops. I think that's what they're going to announce. Now, how much is that going to cost? A lot more than I can afford right now. No, I'm not going to be able to afford it. Because their products, they cost an arm and a leg. They just do. They just do. Now, this one with the iPad Pro with the OLED monitor, 11-inch cost $1,000. The 13-inch model with the Ultra Retina XDR, which I didn't even know existed, but this one's at $1,300. And the issue with that is my editing software does not read my iPad or the iPad in general. It doesn't read it as a computer. It reads it as a giant phone. So it being a mobile device instead of a computer, you're limited in what you can do. Like if I open up Photoshop, I have some features, but I don't have all the features. So I bought my iPad Pro thinking that it was really a desktop or basically a laptop replacement. It's not. If you go Final Cut Pro, the features are going to be limited. Anything in Adobe Creative Suite, your features are going to be limited because it's reading your device as a giant phone. You know what I mean? And they've slowly but surely over the years been adding more features to the iPad Pro in terms of what you can use in the Creative Suite software, but it's nowhere near what it's supposed to be. The only reason I have my iPad now is that I can't use the Apple Pencil on anything else. It's not going to work on the laptop that I just bought. It doesn't work with the Mac Mini. The Apple Pencil only works with the iPad. So I love using the Apple Pencil, but it's very limited in where you can use it. So if you want to use a pencil, you're going to have to buy a Wacom tablet for your Mac Mini or for your laptop. Oh my gosh, it could be so confusing. Like coming over from PC and switching everything to Apple, I don't know why they make things, well, I know why they make things so complicated. It puts you in a bind where you have to buy different things instead of just buying one thing. You know, you have to buy a bunch of different things instead of just one thing. On the plus side, all these different devices work together seamlessly, but by the time, say that I don't want to work on my laptop, I want to work on a larger monitor, I have to buy the Mac Mini, right? I want to work on my tablet and I want to use my Apple Pencil, and the Apple Pencil doesn't work on anything else. I have to use the iPad. If I need more mobility and I will actually want to use a computer, I have to buy the laptop. And it just can't be any laptop. It has to be the laptop with the ports and the screen resolution that I want on it at the screen size that I want. So this is the last thing. This is absolutely it. I'm not getting anything else. I've got the keyboard, which I absolutely love because it has the Touch ID on it, but it costs an arm and a leg. I love the trackpad for the Mac Mini because it works just as well as the trackpad on the laptop, but it's not cheap. And then I also love the Magic Mouse. I got the black one. I absolutely love this thing because you don't have to have the mouse pad on the desk. You have these raised, what do you call these things? I don't know what you call them, but it's raised up a little bit so that you can put it on the desk and use it without actually having a mouse pad on there. Because normally, like if you're on the PC side, you don't have it raised off the desk for your mouse. So you need a mouse pad. You need to put the mouse on the mouse pad so you can actually use it correctly. And so Apple decided to put these strips on the bottom to raise the mouse up from sitting flat on the surface. And you can just use it like that all the time. I haven't had a mouse pad in years. So it's like really smart, but it's like you keep having to get all these things. And it's like, oh my gosh. So yeah, that's it for me. I'm out of that's all. I hope you guys got something out of it. I only meant to go like 20 minutes on talking about this, but it can be very confusing. And if you don't read the fine print on some of this stuff, you can buy the wrong thing. So yeah, if you guys have any questions about any of this that I went over, go ahead and leave it in the comments section. And again, I'm going to share this on the YouTube channel, the Spotify channel. You can like, share, subscribe to support the podcast. And I will see you guys. I'll see you guys later. And I gosh, I can't even promise. That's so bad. But I'm not gonna buy anything else. Actually, I can't buy anything else. That is the max of where I can go. So I'll see you guys next time. Take care.